again. I'm in all the material that I have been was receiving from Shabaka, that obviously the whole human condition, and indeed not alone that, but what happens after we pass on, etc., and the whole purpose of our existence, and all these questions come up. But in dealing with the human condition and the various aspects of it, obviously illness comes into focus. Now in spirit, of course, there's no such thing as illness. So that when the soul decides to come into earth, and the whole process of physical existence happens, it brings in the thing of being subject to the vagaries of the physical life, and indeed, naturally enough, I suppose then illness comes up. And I don't suppose any of us escapes from it. Something eventually takes us away, you know, that even though we might live a life completely free from any ailments, if that's possible, I don't know whether it is or not, but that eventually something is going to happen to make us move on and drop the body, you know. So so it's a feature of life on earth. And one of the things that I've come across over the years, you know, with people who have got into the what I might call the way, alternative way of being, that if we're really living life as we should, as we ought to, that we shouldn't get ill, that should never happen. That we must be doing something wrong, in inverted commas, if we get ill, or if accidents happen or anything like that. And of course that is a misunderstanding of the whole purpose of being here on earth. One of the features of it is that we experience it in all its aspects, and that's what helps us to come to terms with ourselves and to find our own way. And of course, I'm sure you will have come across people who have been very committed to whatever they're doing, who have become, say, workaholics, and who live for the job and so on. And they devote all their time and their energies to it, and they become obsessed with it. And then at some stage something happens, they get a heart attack or something like that, or a stroke, and they have to stop. And then brings up for them a whole crisis in a way of their way of life, like this. What are they going to do now? And it pushes them to maybe to look at themselves, to look at the way their life has been, to look at questioning the questions of why they're here at all, and what they're going to do with their lives. So it is a feature of life, and it is something that I suppose is there, that if we can see it that way, that we can benefit from it. But that even though sometimes illness can be very painful, very difficult, very debilitating, very limiting, in all sorts of ways, that we, if we can have the strength maybe to look at what does it bring to us, what does it bring into our lives that helps us to look at ourselves maybe in a different way. And then to, apparently it seems that in ways that we help each other, that sometimes the children come in born to parents, and they come in ways that, you know, that they need a lot of care. They're not physically well in some form or other. And that can be something that has been part of the evolution of all those people, that they may be coming in order to help the parents too, to help the parents in their caring for them, that it helps them to look at their lives and to live them in different ways. And I've come across this too in many ways over the years, and sometimes the people have found it very fulfilling, very helpful experience. And one of the, I remember a particular instance, and it's always stayed with me, that there was a man I met, and he was telling me a story of how he had been born in Italy, and when he was about 9 years old he was playing in a quarry, a disused quarry, and he picked up something which turned out to be a grenade, and he pulled the pin, and he lost the sight of both his eyes, and he lost one of his arms. So he grew up anyway, and he went on and he became a speech therapist. But it was his attitude that stayed with me so much, that he even expressed gratitude for that experience, that it taught him to live his life in a different way, that he didn't make judgments in the way that we do, because, say, for instance, we meet somebody and we look at them and we make an immediate judgment on how they look, even the whole thing of colour, appearance, the lot, everything. We form these judgments, but he couldn't do that. He related to people from a feeling, from a sensing of how they were. And he felt very strongly that it helped him to be a better person. So I thought he was very inspiring, and for me, certainly, I had great admiration for him, and I was grateful for the experience of meeting him. Now, there are many people like that on earth, and many people who have been wonderful carers, and many people who have been wonderful in carrying their illness. And in some way, it's all part of a process that's designed to be helpful for us to go through life on earth, if we can respond to it. And that can be the challenge, and can be a very difficult challenge at times. But maybe it can help us if we can remember that everything has a purpose, that nothing really happens by accident, that it's all part of what we might call the grand design of living. And that's why, I don't know, that's the title that we chose for the books, and that this is, that we're all living through that, and it's how we respond that matters. So again, thank you very much for listening. Bye for now.